Good morning, folks. I hope you enjoyed that little picture of that cookie. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making some French macaroons. No, we're not, because a macaroon is made with coconut. We're going to be making some French macarons. That is made with egg whites, super fine sugar, almond flour, and of course, cream of tartar and some other ingredients. Now, you wonder, why would you want to make a French macaron? Well, number one, they're very delicious. So let's talk a little bit about the origin of the French macaron. There's also Italians, there are also Switzerland macarons. So they're all a little bit different in their recipes and the ingredients that you use. But the French macaron that has become so popular actually originated from something that used to be called priests' belly buttons. You heard me. Priests' belly buttons. Now, why would we call this little cookie priests' belly buttons? Well, that's because monks in Italy, here we go again, we're back in Italy, made this delicious little cookie. Some say they were Venetian monks. Some say that they were descendants from the order of St. Vincent de Paul. Others have lots of other ideas. But it's around 800 AD that they started making these little delicious priest belly buttons. Well, as time goes, and as you know how royal families in Europe worked, if you don't, that's a good part of history that you should look into. Wait a minute, I need a sip of Cowboy coffee. Now in Europe, you had several royal families. And how those folks got along is, well, one royal family from one country would marry a member of the royal family from the other. Therefore, we created a pact and a treaty and a deal, and they got along. Well, sometimes. Well, in the 1500s, there was a young lady by the name of Catherine de' Medici. Now, she, of course, is from the Medici family, which was very instrumental in Italy, particularly in Florence. Florence was an economic powerhouse, and the Medici family is the ones that built that. Now, they were not always in Florence. They actually migrated in or immigrated in from the Tuscany region. Here we go again with these different regions in these European countries. Remember, we did a video shortly ago about the Lombardy region. Well, this went to Tuscany, and they moved to Florence, and they became an economic powerhouse. Well, in order to have a treaty with France, Catherine, who now would be Queen Catherine de' Medici, married King Henry II. And that was around in the 1500s. I believe she was 1509 to 1569, something like that was her lifespan. Well, when she got to France, she brought along some of her Italian pastry chefs. And hence, they started making the French macaron. So, I hope that you enjoyed that little bit of history, and I would encourage you and entice you, if you're not a student of history, to do so, because there is some great reading, some great understanding of how the world is and why we are, and why we're sometimes in the shape that we are in today. So, I hope that you'll follow along. Now, this recipe that I'm going to be doing is very intense. It's very tedious, meticulous, requires a lot of patience, I should say. So I hope that you will watch this part 1 and then follow along as I break this recipe into a couple different parts, because it could be a 30-minute video or longer. So just to keep our attention, I'm going to break it up, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. And believe me, these are some delicious little pastry/cookies. Yep, you got it. I'll see you on down the trail.